دوركم الكبير في آي راديو من حيث الأخبار والمعلومات. صيغة بتاعك في آي راديو زاد من صيغة الصحفيين عشان يلتزموا بنشر أخبار وبرامج الموزونة، زاد مصداقية للإعلام والتصغيف والترفيه. نتيجة للكلام ده وصل عدد متابعين آي راديو لأكثر من 17 مليون نفر في فيسبوك حسب مقاييس فيسبوك في السنوات الثلاث الفات، عدد أكبر من عدد سكان جنوب السودان. وللحصول على تحليل إخباري مفصل قم بزيارة موقع آي راديو الإلكتروني www.iradio.org. اشترك أو اعمل إعجاب بقناة آي راديو على يوتيوب عشان تحصل لأحدث مقاطع فيديو الجديدة عندنا. آي راديو أين تكون في جنوب السودان.
Welcome to the Sundown Show. On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. Stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. The Sundown. For the news, views, opinion, debates, and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show now Radio with me, Madrama James. Today is Monday, the 14th of July 2025. This program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for comprehensive look at the daily events and the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 0911-022-986-986 or send for us a text message on 0913-986-986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on Facebook, X, YouTube, and more. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging to that website at www.iradio.org. Coming up. Tonight on the Sundown Show, in this first hour, we turn our focus to the issue of that scholarship, specifically the Indian government scholarship, following growing public debate and media reports of questioning the transparency and fairness of the selection process. The Ministry of Higher Education has responded with the Director General of Admission, who also serves as a Secretary of the Scholarship Committee, offering a detailed explanation on how the selection was handled. John Akwe clarified that while 457 South Sudanese applicants applied for admission to India universities, only 30 scholarship slots were officially granted to the country. He says the selection was done based on academic merits in line with the ministerial directives and prioritize science-based courses due to limited availability of such programs in local universities. Now let's listen to the Director General of Admission explaining how the process unfolded.
The issue of Indian scholarship, it is true, as the Honorable Undersecretary stated, is of recent. This scholarship has always been online. It has never been here in the Ministry of Higher Education. Children apply online. They are taken by the Indian scholarship based on whatever criteria they used. When it came to the Ministry of Higher Education here, the Honorable Minister, who is a new person here, formed a committee called the Scholarship Committee to to distribute the chances that are coming to South Sudan from friendly countries. So this Indian scholarship is one of those scholarships under which the Honorable Minister formed the committee. Now, the scholarships were announced online. All applicants applied online. Now, when it came to time for selection, the Indian Council for Cultural Relations requested the government of South Sudan to select, and the Minister of Higher Education passed this to the committee to do the selection. Now, the Indian universities have offered 457 admission letters to South Sudanese applicants. 457. Take that, note that, please. 457 admission letters were offered to South Sudanese applicants. Now, what was the number of scholarships offered to South Sudan? The number of chances that were offered to South Sudan were only 30. Note this again, only 30 vacancies to be distributed to 457 applicants. Now, also, the scholarships were offered to so many categories. This included undergraduate and postgraduate applicants. But these were not clearly stated how many seats go to undergraduates, how many seats go to masters, how many seats go for PhD applicants. So these 457 30 chances were to be distributed by the Minister of Higher Education. And this fell on the committee to do the distribution. How would we distribute this? The committee said, as we had no time completely, we had to sit on Saturday and Sunday, but we negotiated and we were given 4 more days to sort out the nomination. Now, we had to take the list from the Indian Embassy, the list of all those who applied and all those who were offered admission letters. There was that list of 457 applicants. We had also to negotiate to give us all the application documents, especially the certificate and the passports of those who applied, because there are rules that must guide us. Thanks to Indian Embassy, they gave us the certificates of those applicants. And the committee had to sit first to distribute the opportunities, these 30 chances. How do we distribute them? We had 406 applicants for undergraduates. We had 48, for postgraduates. That is the masters and the PhD. So we needed to distribute these chances. How do we distribute them? The committee sat and drew broad lines on the distribution, and it was decided by the committee that 5 chances must go for PhD and masters. That is 2 for PhD, 3 for masters, and 25 will go to undergraduate students. That was first distribution. Second distribution was, how do we distribute this based on our knowledge of South Sudan qualifications. South Sudan qualifications, we have science-based colleges and arts-based colleges. Now, the committee decided that arts studies are available in South Sudan. In all the universities here, there are art studies. Those who will study social sciences could study in South Sudan. But there are few opportunities for science-based colleges. And so most of our chances must go to science students. So the committee decided that only 5 will go to arts-based colleges and 20 for science-based colleges. This was the distribution. Now, after that distribution, 2 sets of distribution, that is the degree level and then the specialization level. Then again, How do we choose those who are to benefit from these opportunities? Then normally we say those who will benefit for PhD must be science students. So, and the student who has first class degree will be the beneficiary of these opportunities. This decision was based on ministerial order, which formed the committee. The ministerial order clearly stated that selection must be based on merit. And what is merit? Merit is the best performance in an examination that is done by an eligible examining institution. In case of South Sudan, we have the National Council or the National Examination Secretariat. It's the only institution that set examinations in this country, especially for secondary school and primary school examinations. So this is what merit is. The best performer in an examination that is set by a legal institution that set examinations in the country. So after defining what a merit is, the committee said, look at the certificates of the undergraduates, and the best performer, especially in science and in arts, the list of art students was separate and the list of science students was separate, and the selection was made on the basis of merit. From number 1 to number 20 in sciences, from number 1 to number 5 in arts. For PhD and for master's, first class degree was selected. That was the basis of selection. Now, the Indian Embassy had also requested us to make a list of reserve that will not be published. List of reserve to be sent to them, about 20, so that if anybody from the first group falls off for one reason or another, they could have somewhere to select. So a list of 20 was selected based also on merit, and this is how the list was done. The 25 undergraduates were selected on merit. In arts, I do not remember the first person, but the last person had 88.9. That's the last person. For sciences, I don't remember the first, but the last person was somebody who had 88%. That was the selection. Now, when we published the list, before we published the list was sent, it was a nomination suggested on the basis that were defined in the ministerial order. But we had decisions that we made, and these decisions were not in the ministerial order. The distribution was not in the ministerial order. Okay, that is the 2, 3, and 5 and 20 were not in the ministerial order. Okay, so we had to forward this as a request to the authorities in the ministry to endorse the nominations we had made. There were recommendations which I cannot go to, but this was what we requested. Now, the ministry endorsed the list, and after that, we publish the list. We publish the list for students to see those who are nominated, and we send the other list, the same list, to the Indian Embassy for other processing. Now, when the list was seen, some media houses went viral, and they questioned that the selection was not based on merit. That's one. Second, they produced their own list and they neglected the list that came from the Indian Embassy. As second, number three, that there was preferential nomination based on, you know, what this madness of South Sudan is. Everything you do, they look for a base. That is, they want to do it tribally. Third, or fourth, I mean, that there was no regional representation. Fifth, there was no gender balance. These were what some of the media houses, some of you are here, who they went making a lot of very negative information on what we had produced. However, these are things that can happen in a society that is not well informed, in a society that is not serious to investigate and to balance and see whether this work was done based on some regulations or not. Now, after clearing this, we are saying that the selection was based on ministerial order, which strongly recommended that selection must be based on merit. So if this selection that was done lacks merit, this is what the media should tell us. Who did we leave out that has scored very high? And by the way, this is higher education. This is higher education. And the world that has advanced was basing their education on merit, on best performance. If South Sudanese are not happy about merit, then we are here to be challenged. If there is anybody who has very high marks and we have left him out, we are ready to accept blame, because this is important. That was our basis for selection. Again, if anybody or any media house or any other organizations that are complaining there around, if they have the list that the Indian Embassy has and we have thrown it in the dustbin, let that organization or media house, let them challenge us and give us the list that we have thrown away. I have to rest my case. Thank you very much. The DG and the secretary of the scholarship committee can now take the floor to clarify things I might have left out before the media houses are given the opportunity to ask it.
Joka Akwe, the Director General of Admission, who also serves as Secretary of the Scholarship Committee, talking to the media right there. Now, let's hear from the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Higher Education, who also weighed on this particular matter. More in this following speech.
Ministry of Higher Education used to have a scholarship from some friendly countries, that is to help us in higher education. We used to have scholarship from Egypt, that is frozen now. We have a scholarship from Sudan, Morocco, India of late. Ethiopia used to support us also greatly. Aside from that, there are private students who go for scholarship in some places for specialization that they want that we don't have here, or some for reason or another they go. We have Zimbabwe, we have good number. We have India also. Those who go for private scholarship is more than those who go for scholarship. The same thing for Egypt and Sudan. Aside from this, there are some others here and there, small in numbers, 2, 3, 5 sometimes. Concerning our topic today, of late, we have received scholarship from India. This is the government scholarship. The government scholarship, the DG will explain to you. We received the scholarship on the 25th in the ministry here, and the closing date is 27th. They are giving us only 2 days to make all this arrangement. Moreover, it was a weekend by then. They were requesting us to finish all this to send them before 27th. We saw that it was not possible, so we had to, the DG and the secretary went to the embassy to ask for more time such that we do something, because formation of the committee, please follow up properly. The scholarship committee, the chairperson is from the admission. Why? Because the database, our database is in the admission. The secretary of the committee is from Directorate of Training, where the scholarship falls. So it is a combination of 2 directorates. Otherwise, if after doing all this thing, the first scrutiny people will go to the database to see the students who have been selected before, who are studying in any of the public universities here, they will not be considered, they will be deleted, because they have already taken their chance from the quota of South Sudan. That is why the chairperson of the committee is from the Directorate of Admission.
You had it all from the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Higher Education. Now, before I give you that humble time to respond to the comment issued by the authorities at the higher education, briefly let me take you back. Remember, on that 7th of July, some South Sudanese scholarship students in India have expressed dissatisfaction with the Ministry of Higher Education handling of complaints regarding the alleged unfair selection of 2025 scholarship candidates to study in India. The students are calling for a review of the selection criteria and transparent explanation to help restore public trust in what they describe as vital national program. And today you have heard from that the leadership at the Ministry of Higher Education. He says the Indian scholarship program selection was done based on academic merits in line with the ministerial directives and prioritize science-based courses due to that limited slots of that program in local universities right there. Now, as a student, as a South Sudanese, as a mother, and as, of course, a responsible person who is also following the development of affairs keenly in Republic of South Sudan, what's your take? And as a student, share with us, of course, your experience that you have undergone through while trying, to apply for some scholarship, being either in Morocco, in Ethiopia, in India, in some other friendly countries of South Sudan. 0911-229-8696. Naam, nasma min Ministry of Higher Education man bugul scholarship al bezad wodile talaba amshi fi India ne kan wasat shokola zol amul fi madrasa mana lo shahada bita kwez ya shilu mafio gablia mafio suria mafio kharahia فبالضبط بقول شنو كطلبة الجرب كمان ممكن قدم أوراق بتاعك سكولارشيب لإثيوبيا لإنديا ولا شنو في داخل جنوب السودان. شارك معنا وتوال في 09 وايد وايد ولا 22 986 986 اي راديو.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Young Sudan.
Welcome on board. Long time. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I traveled to the state, so I could not access iRadio.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes.
Madrama James, according to the explanation provided by the Director for Admissions and the Undersecretary, I am satisfied on the basis of merit. I in the School of Law at the University of Juba, and we receive yearly the general intakes from the government. And this admission is always based on merit. If you have good percentage, then you are given now a space. And even if you are from the same family and you have and you are 10 or 20 and you have outcompete your colleagues, you are given chance. So there is nothing tribal in it. Because I went through the nomination or the selection which was made, I saw it, and what really they have said before, that if there is anyone with a percentage above the percentage if you were selected and that person is left out, let that person come forward. That is the question now people should bring. If there is someone who need to challenge them, if I were one of the students who had good percentage and I was left out, I could make it publicly for the people to know that these people are corrupting the system. So this is just a matter. This is just a matter of blaming without justification. So the ministry, according to what I have gone through, they did not make any mistake. They did not make any favor. So the public should not always base their criticisms on the tribal lines when you did not make anything. Number two, if you did not apply and you are from any tribe, because 64 tribes, they don't apply once when there is application. Maybe I don't have interest, I have big percentage, but I don't want to go to study. So can I be forced to go and represent my community or my tribes? This one is for those who are willing. So if you are willing to go to further your education, then you have to apply. So this mentality, I'm questioning my people that let us not always base our things that cannot be criticized are always being criticized. But this one, the ministry did not commit any error, and the public should be aware that the university is a privilege, and there is nothing that people need to say that is diversity. Look at the University of Juba, where people are being admitted here. Nobody is being admitted if you are the state did not perform well. That is said they are not being taken. Let us take example of Warab State last year. Those who were taken from Warab, they were few because they did not perform in 2022-2023 academic year. So this is what is being done. So let us not always try to fool ourselves back. Let us use the chances, available chances that are being given by friends, friendly countries, to go for the people who are capable to go and represent us, not on the basis of diversity when you have not performed well.
Yeah, right. Now, Majung Sudan, before you go, some South Sudanese who are under scholarship in India have expressed dissatisfaction with the Ministry of Higher Education on handling of that complaint regarding the unfair selection of 2025 scholarship. Now, these are the direct, affected personnel. Are you trying to say, for example, these people are just making drama?
Yes, that is what I'm trying to say. You cannot make noise when the percentage that is needed, you do not have it. Okay? If it is said, imagine 88, and if you have 60, and you are from a certain tribe, do you want to be represented? This is not government, it is an academic. So in academic, people are being represented. You represent based on merit, not on the tribe or section or clan. This is something that I need to caution the students who are now studying, that please don't always put things in the tribal lines on diversity. Let us use what you have got, and this is what the Sudan was doing. In the Sudan, when people were being admitted, you are admitted based on the percentage you have. If you have a small percentage, you go to education and rural development. If you have big percentage, you go now to law and medicine. This is what was being doing. And you have seen it last time. I know some of them now, they are just doing it for fun because they are already there and they want to make themselves that they are trying to destroy the image of our country. I cannot accept what they are saying. When you are asked now, Madrama, do you know, are you a lawyer? Now, you are not a lawyer. Do you want to represent iRadio in issues that need legal basis? No. There is someone that can be called to come and represent, not you.
Thank you.
So 60% and 90% are different.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Majung Sudan, for sharing your thought with us. Let's also hear from this 091122 986 986. Hi, Radio.
Yes, hello.
Aywa.
Salam.
Alaikum salam. Munu wa tasal min wen?
Ana Moses Laran, mutasal min West Minwa, Western Barazar State.
Marhaba, Moses.
I'm actually happy for the topic, and briefly, I want to speak fluently in Arabic because for us we like Arabic most.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother. You have no problem.
Thank you very much.
Get them.
Now, أنا داير أتكلم في موضوع بتاع الtopic بتاع الليلة لأنه أبجد أنا في عندنا 3 points which is missing. يعني تتجد 3 نقاط جنوبين قاعدين ينصف. نقطة نمرة 1 مشكلة وطنية. شفتها وطنية ده حاجة مهم جدا جدا يا كوب بتاعي مدرمة. شفتها الجنوبين كلهم نسوا حاجة اسمها وطنية. لو أننا ينا قريب ده أننا من محتفلين ب independent جنوب السودان يعني احتفال كان آخر موقف كده مع جميل كله يعني أنت بتعاين في ولايات يعني ذاته ما احتفلوا به وده نتيجة من ناس الفوق شفت كيف؟ يعني كله ما عندهم وطنية لبلد بكامل. لو دارين نكونوا عندنا وطنية بنخدم بلد ده كله سوا. شفت كيف؟ حتى البرسنتج اللي بندوه للعيال اللي يمشي يقرأوا برا ده بيكون ايكولي كله لمحلات ده. شفت كيف؟ هذا حاجة ثانية أنا لازم نكون عندنا إنسانية. لأن البلد بتاعنا ده لازم نخدمه بكل قوة اللي عندنا. لأنه البلد ده بيجمعنا. أنا اللي أتأكد إنه البلد ده بتاعنا كلنا جنوبين. أنا كجنوبين. شفت كيف؟ من نملي هناك لحد أبيعي. شفت كيف؟ ده بلد بتاعنا. أنا لازم نخدمه بطريقة كويس جدا.
نعم لورنس.
ايوه فضل.
مشكلة في نفس زول زيتا خا جنوبي بقول موضوع بتاع مدرسة بزاد سكولارشيب ما يشيلوا قال يمثلوا ولاية لكن وصد شكل البارو كمان تعمل في فصل ورقة تاكي نديف ولا ما نديف دي حاجة مهم كاليسا بقول شنو بالضبط؟
ما أنا بقول دي كل نتيجة لي أصلا ونيال نمشي برا ذاته وما كويس ذاته وفر نعمل مدرسة صح في البلد بتاعنا. نعمل مدرسة بكل ستاندرد عشان البلد ده نقدر يبدأ كل خدمات الصح عشان الناس اللي ما متعلمين ياخدوا تعليم بصورة كويس. لكن هسه في النجليجنس شوية في التقصير في مجال التعليم في كل ديبارتمنت. إذا كنت بتاعي هسه جامعات ذاته كومبليتلي تعبان شديد. ما بيلقوا رعاية كويس ما بيلقوا انسنتيف أو سالري بتاعهم في منه فدي خلقت مشكلة كبيرة جدا جدا. عشان كده زي ما قلت الحاصل في البلد بتاعنا.
نعم شكرا جزيلا أخونا لورنس من مدينة واو وسط مشاركة وأنا كير رسالتك وصل keep those messages coming that's via our Facebook page and I will go through them. We have a code back Magangiti saying good evening Radio, I am watching you live from Kampala. I really appreciate your efforts in promoting conversation about the scholarship in our country. It's a very important opportunity for all of us as citizens. Keep it up, my people. But remember, action speaks louder than words. Thank you so much. Well, we have another quick text message coming in from that Roy saying, thank you, journalists. Keep up the good work. Well, let's now have our first commercial break. When we come back, we shall keep the conversation going, and we are asking you to share your thought with us on the Indian scholarship. Remember, the Ministry of Higher Education says the Indian Scholarship Program selection was done based on academic merits in line with the ministerial directives and prioritize science-based courses due to limited availability of such programs in local universities. This comes after students demand review of a 2025 Indian scholarship selection. What's your take on this after the commercial break?
The Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with a new vaccine introduction of pneumonia vaccine, targeting all children aged between 6 to 14 weeks. Take your child to the nearest vaccination center during the African Vaccination Week or Big Catch-up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Alice.
Good morning, Mama Ladu. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Ladu for pneumonia vaccination at the health center to protect my child against pneumonia and meningitis. He was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Alice already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes, she needs to be vaccinated with at least 3 doses at 6, 10 and 14 weeks to be fully vaccinated, immunized and protected against pneumonia.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be a vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, pneumonia vaccine is effective in preventing pneumonia and deaths in infants and young children. This vaccine has just been introduced this year, 2025. A lot of children were not vaccinated. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get pneumonia.
I didn't know that pneumonia is very serious, that it can cause meningitis and even death.
Yes. Pneumonia is a life-threatening disease caused by bacteria or viruses. The signs are cough, fever, chills, and shortness of breath, which may be accompanied by chest pain when breathing or coughing. Children who survive may experience long-term effects on lung function and increased risk of respiratory conditions like asthma.
Asthma or lung function complication? Oh, that sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with pneumonia vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for this vaccine? Hope it is not late.
No, you are not late. Pneumonia vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all government health centers in your areas. Tell your neighbors with children between 6 to 14 weeks to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest health center for pneumonia vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest health center and protect them from pneumonia and other vaccine-preventable diseases. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO, UNICEF, and South Sudan Women in Medicine.
This is iRadio. When contributing to a topic on the radio, please avoid statements that may incite or promote hate. We encourage constructive points of views and criticisms that aim at providing solutions to problems facing the country. We do not want rumor mongering or information that is regarded as hearsays. We advocate for messages of peace and unity among the people of South Sudan. This is iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. This is iRadio.
It's nice to be back with you, and pick that cell phone now, dial our studio line on 0911022986 As you have heard, the Ministry of Higher Education says the Indian scholarship program selection was done based on academic merits. This comes after students demand review of 2025 scholarship program. What's your take? I read you.
Madrama James.
Azei Mabululu.
Kevako.
Mabatal.
Salam taleta ولكيما العمل وكل مستمعين.
شكرا جزيلا.
وكل student طلبة ديل كمان.
نعم.
فبجد أنا بديت صوتي بينه مفروض يشيله على حسب مستوى بتاعه في فصل حسب درجة تاعه اللي تجيبه. إذا كان ده 50 ولا 100 ولا 500 كان 1000 نفر على حسب مستوى بتاعهم تدريجيا هم يجيبوا ده كويس عشان هم ده بروح ربع بلد بكره عشان ما يجي رجال ما يجي هناك روح تردوا بعدين على حسب مستوى ما في كده نكون حبطنا معنويات بتاع الناس المفروض كان بروحوا ربع بلد قدام وكده بيكون ابطلنا التنميه ذاته او ابطلنا الشيء المفروض اننا كان دايرين نشوفوه في المستقبل عشان كده المفروض يكون في عداله يكون في قانون جد يكون في نظام يكون في مراقبه بيشيلوا ناس الجلسه المستوى بتاعهم كويس البروح بكره ما بيجوا رجع ورا وبروح ربع بلد بكره بعد بكره ده جا مهم خالص لابد يكون في نظام سيستم كويس كده يعني الناس الممتازين على حسب مستوى بتاعهم ما يجي يشيلوا من برا ساكت بروح رجع ورا بعدين او ما بروح نجا بعدين ده يكون ما كويس يعني نتمنى يكون في روح الوطنيه وانه التعليم ده ويا ده السلاح الوحيد اننا بربع بلد وهذا العالم كله ماشي قدام عبر التعليم عشان لابد ان ننظر في هذا بدون مجامله. نعم اكو.
شكرا زي ما بلولو. I radio. Get back to us and share your opinion. Then we have this caller. I radio. I radio. I radio.
Hello.
No.
Hi, I'm with you.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Ustaz Mario from Napron.
Ustaz Mario, good to have you.
My problem is, we 25 are they talking. Whatever the result for the 25 is an market. I think there is a plan somewhere there. What's wrong? 25, the results are still not there for the information. The results are still, the papers are still on the market up to now. Why are they cheating people?
No,
the problem there?
The issue, the scholarship came for that's 2024-2025, not the results of that's 2025-2026 that we are waiting for.
Not yet out.
Sure.
Why they talk something which is not yet out? It's something wrong. But now they are creating things of long time ago to substitute. Which is wrong completely. We don't be serious with the question of the country, otherwise it will be something very. Now, even the intake, the national intake of 2023, 24, up to now, not yet there. I don't know what's wrong.
No,
the national intake for the local university.
Mario, the scholarship the Ministry of Higher Education is responding to is based on the previous result, not the current one we are still anticipating for.
Why did you mention 25?
Yeah, the scholarship comes, in a slot. But thank you so much for sharing your thought with us.
Let me ask you one question.
Yes.
The intake of 2023 and 2024, originally of the local universities are not yet out. What is the problem there?
All right. What we are talking about is not the results of...
I know you are talking about scholarship. Even if you are talking is wrong. You cannot mention the year without that particular period of that time.
All right. Thank you. I radio. Aywa. Sahanur. Marhab, Joseph.
Scholarship. Akwana pigana si India. So
Malaysia arjatani fi 09 wide walid 986 kuna Joseph min Medinat Lebanon. We have John Mur Olum is saying, good evening, I radio. I'm watching you live within South Sudan and Juba City, Dar es Salaam in particular, opposite to that Haimona area. I really appreciate your efforts in promoting conversation about the scholarship in our country. It's a very good and very important opportunity for all of us as 64 tribes in South Sudan. Let's keep it up, my dearest brothers and sisters, plus the leaders of this country. But make sure that what is the importance of this conversation is action is speak louder than words. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, John Olum, for sharing your thought with us. We have Charles. Olia is saying, I'm watching you from, he writes that I'm watching you live from Juba. Which site exactly? Is it Juba town or which residential area? You did not really specify it here, but no problem. There are some students who have good percentages in the examination, but they fail to qualify it, meaning you are disagreeing with what the Ministry of Higher Education is saying. That's according to your text right there. More live calls. I read you.
Yes, good evening, Madrama James.
Reverend, welcome.
Thank you. So, when we talk about scholarship, Madrama James, it's something wonderful to our government to supply our generation with the scholarship. But there is something that the population of South Sudan was doubting.
What is that?
It is a system of South Sudan. Every institution have a bad system. That's why everybody is saying that things are making there. It is their concern. Like the Majung Sudan put it, when you do not have interest to go to abroad and study there, you cannot apply. When it comes to the higher education, is the one who have that scholarship coming from India. They come to them first. Then they should have to alert South Sudanese who will ever have interest to go to study there. So what they are doing, maybe our government, they speak very well, they are doing things very well, but there is something that every citizen are doubting about that system, that every institution here in South Sudan. That's why when things are making, we are still, even when they make it very nice, we are still, as a population of South Sudan, we are still being doubt from that. It is because things are not going well. For example, now, Madrama James, peace is not going in a way that citizens want. Instead, for them, for 10 states plus 3 administrative areas to get a scholarship in good way. Like, for example, now there is some states, they will not have something that bring from Indian if they are needed of scholarship for those who are going to study in abroad. Nothing, because they are not in peace. They are not in peace. That's why our people are still doubting our government. And thank you.
Thank you. According to Reverend, this scholarship is ideally meant for all South Sudanese, but in a situation where some other parts of the country is experiencing, political instability, then the situation will deprive, some South Sudanese from getting the scholarship opportunity. We have Guad Mabek. He's saying our leaders in South Sudan are good when it comes to that talking, but no actions and equality. Trust in them no more. Well, not all, but some. Okay, thank you for sharing your thought with us. Now let's have one And last caller for now. Hi, radio. Hi, radio. Get back to us on 091122986986. We are talking on that scholarship issue right here, where some students are saying the criteria selection is not done in a good manner. So what's your take? Hi, radio.
Hello.
Ayuwa.
والله يا مدرمة أنا بفتكر أنه أي scholarship for the whole of the house كانوا عدد بتاعه كم جاء في national المفروض يشوف العددية the number how do scholarship there how many number with their conditions then they send to the wilayat equal بعد يرسلوا لهم هناك وبعدين يعمل حاجة ده according to the state and three administrative areas decide any conditions there in the state or in the area.
ما مشكلة أنا higher education بقول بس حاجة الفيمون بعينه في academic merits بتاعك وكمان من دي and directive سلام من وزير.
ما now إنما national لا قلنا هو higher education بتاع national لا موجي نزل policy نزل الولايات then even you form a committee في الولايات those who are in this department مثلا بتاع quality insurance or بتاع examination they should be there all over the state 2 or 1.
All right.
They will be there وهم بيشوفوا عنه كل الولايات representative عشان ما تطلع روماس ولا حاجات بزي كده.
شكرا.
لأنه he cannot come to him and implement. بيجي بمزاجه. You involve all the state. But they have got disqualified teachers there in the state.
شكرا جزيلا.
And these departments are there. While finishing everything there. You كمان شارك الولايات so that to avoid any